Adriana, the moisture content in the stone was the major issue of concern when it came to deterioration, and for these reasons studies were made so that a restoration methodology can be planned.
The salt crystallization is the main cause of deterioration for the wall paintings. The soluble salts, which are contained in the subsoil or in the wall structures, and sometimes even in the material used for restoration, dissolved in water. So in this case, with the infiltration of water or a rising dam, the salts dissolved in water and are moved through the porous and capillary structures of the plasters. The climate changing provokes a transformation of the salts from a liquid phase to a solid crystalline phase. And the volumetric growth of these crystals provoke the breakup and the decohesions of the plasters. During the analysis carried out in the crypt, after the moisture content and the qualitative and quantitative salt analysis, also the original materials and the not original materials were investigated. It was found a previous intervention dated back to 1950s, where some areas were replaced using gypsum and cement. And as well known, the cement and the gypsum are considered as the two main sources of salts, for example. So for this reason, the conservators found the decoration and the frescoes completely hidden by a veil of fluorescence.
Adriana, part of the deterioration, which was quite an important part of the restoration program, was the detachment that there were, the pictorial layer from the support, from the stone. And it was going to cause some serious collapses and losses in the paint layer.
Of course, when the restoration works started, the situation was very critical. Large areas, as you told, were detached from the stone support. The ability of the conservators was to find a proper restoration methodology, analyzing all the materials before using. In this case, a lime-based mortar was created ad hoc for this particular situation. It was tested in advance, considering its density, its specific weight, the gravity, and of course the content of salts it could supply to the original materials.
Because obviously the material that you were going to use to consolidate had to be compatible with both the support and the paint layer.
Exactly, that one is the first requirement for the restoration materials. In fact, to solve also the extensive decohesions problem which were affecting the surface of the stone monument, they chose the nanolime as the best consolidant for its physical and chemical compatibility with our limestone. Mm-hmm. This product, it consists of a dispersion in alcohol of nanosized particles of calcium hydroxide, which converts to calcium carbonate on exposures to the atmospheric carbon dioxide. This new technological product was able to guarantee a greater penetration onto the porosity of the materials, a greater stability because of the nano-sized particles, and also because it is a dispersion in alcohol, it could avoid the use of water that was the first cause of deterioration for the Grandmaster script.
I believe that this technology was most effective on the delicate carvings where there was extensive powdering.
Exactly. In fact, evaluating case by case the level of deterioration of the surface, this product was supplied at a different concentration. Drop by drop, the conservator could control the reaction of this product, and could avoid also the whitening effect that is very typical of the lime-based consolidant.
The second phase of the restoration was the cleaning process. because all the surface was covered with a thick layer of efflorescent salt. And this was quite a large job to do.
Exactly.
Could you talk us through this method?
Mm-hmm. The first stage of the cleaning consists of the removal of the salt efflorescence by soft brushes and vacuum cleaner. Also, any other deposit of dust and pollution coming from the exteriors were removed. Try to don't use as much as possible water. The dry cleaning was mainly the first method used for the frescoes and for the stone monument as well. The monument were treated against the microbiological growth, which was shown with different kind of stainings with different colors. The stains were treated with appropriate materials, and all the surfaces were stabilized.
Obviously, there must have been some areas of dirt which were more stubborn. What method was used? I believe that dry cleaning would not be enough.
The worst areas, of course, was the floor and the bottom part of the monument, where the majority of the dust and the pollution were deposited. There were stubborn areas of dirt which were removed using a solution of ethanol and water at different concentrations. Also, an alkaline solution were used in such areas where the microbiological growth were much more visible.
So I'm going to refer back to the environmental studies that were carried out over a period of almost 2 years. And the results that we were given were very strict perimeters regarding temperature control and relative humidity control. And this was for a specific reason, no?
The values identified for the better conservation of the fresco in the monument, in this case, were exactly 72 and 73% of relative humidity with 18-19 degrees of temperature.
To keep the frescoes in a good condition and stop them from further deterioration are not found naturally in the crypt. And this means that the environment has to be mechanically controlled. And to do this, we need the right environmental control equipment. Now that's very easily said and done when one considers there is absolutely no way to bring that equipment to this area. After many discussions, the only way was to use the 4 oculi, which are in the vaults of the crypt, to bring the ducting to it. This was a very long process, which also involved uplifting the tiles behind the altar to be able to reach this oculi, with the equipment being preserved on the roof and the ducting brought down through the walls. Because of the delicate nature of the frescoes, the temperature and relative humidity have to be constant. That means they have to be stable 24 hours a day. And to do this, the crypt has to be sealed and closed to the public. That means no one can enter the crypt unless it is for restoration. A glass door has been installed, so visitors can still come down to the entrance and have a good look at the frescoes and the Grand Master's crypt and enjoy the knowledge of this unique interior.